Thanks, Nidhi. Mr. Shiva Santosh, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes. Can you tell if you're from an individual or you're applying through a startup, what you are working on? Just one-liner.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. I'm Shiva Santosh, founder of Team Osaka Technologies. It's one-person company. We are working robotic to solve the problem like endoscopy, nanorobotic to convert the endoscopy pill size tablet, and we working the artificial hand to solve the paralyzed and stroke patients with naturally work with our nerve cells to convert the actions. These two projects we are currently working on for our company, and we are working robotics trainings and workshops conducting in all over India. And that's all.
Great, Mr. Santosh. Mr. Dr. Chansi, can we please have a brief introduction?
Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm Dr. Chansi. I'm assistant professor at Amity Center for Nanomedicine, Amity University, Noida. I'm working towards pesticide detection, and right now we have developed handheld devices, that is biosensing devices. Basically, those are mobile app enabled handheld devices. So we have developed a device for pesticide detection, and also we have developed a device for COVID detection. So we just want to know about how we can use it, by how we can apply to the call for like upgradation, or you can say commercialization of these devices.
Sure. Great. So I request Dr. Prakash to introduce himself, please.
Yeah, myself is Prakash. I'm Chief Operating Officer of Scrapify Ecotech Private Limited, and we are actually less than 1 year old startup, and I'm here on behalf of my founder and CEO, Mr. Araga Pandiraja, and we actually we actually provide the comprehensive solutions for waste management ecosystem, and now we are developing a product called a drone for cleaning the water bodies. So that's what we are.
Great. Dr. Tripti? Okay, probably it's from phone. Dr. Sachin Ganorkar?
Yeah, hello ma'am. Hi. Hi, good afternoon to all. My name is Dr. Sachin Ganorkar. I'm the director of Upaya Health. We are developing a prototype to use apps and artificial intelligence to detect mental and physical problems early in rural areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sachin. Dr. Abhilash?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone from IKP. So myself, Dr. Abhilash, founder of Ramana Tech Solutions Private Limited. We are an Ayurveda technology startup building digital assistants for the Ayurveda hospitals. This is the second time that we are going to apply for Viraj Vikrant through IKP. So looking forward to a great session. Thank you.
Yes. Ms. Garima?
Hi, myself Dr. Garima Jain, and we are basically working towards early diagnosis of diseases using microRNAs as biomarker. So currently we are working on prostate cancer diagnosis, but we would like to move to cardiovascular diseases, and therefore we are seeking funds from BIG, and this will be the second time that I'll be applying. So looking forward for your support and suggestions. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Shobha? Okay, Mr. Thivasanti T.
Are you looking at Dr. T. Devasanti?
Yes. I think
there are two
they are
entrants.
trying for connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Ulfat Fatima.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. So this is Ulfat Fatima. I'm the director of the company Coco Palm Natural Reserve Food Tech Private Limited. So actually, my project is in ideation stage. So we are working on improving the shelf life of padanir, which is a competent technology for enhancing the livelihood of palm tappers.
Great.
So for going further for the POC and all, we are seeking funds from you, ma'am.
Sure.
Yeah.
Miss Shubha Lakshmi Ghosh.
Good afternoon, all. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I am the director of Alona Life Sciences Private Limited, and we are the startup. And previously, we have applied in the BIRAT project, and now we are trying to apply in BIG. And we are working on two different sectors. One is the agricultural sector, where we are working on developing compounds which can, or the formulation which enhance the shelf life of the fruits and vegetables. And on the other hand, we are developing, we have the prototype in our hand in pilot scale trial, and it was actually a collagen peptide based health food or the health drink made up from the fish scale. So it's kind of recycling and development of certain health nutrients like that. So hoping to have the grant so that we can move ahead. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. So I think we are already at 3:12. Remaining for rest of the people, probably we can introduce later on, going one-on-one session. I would request Dr. Sridhar to please welcome and give an introduction of IKP Eden and their incubation facility.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Apurva. So just as a lot of you have tried to introduce yourself, I would also give you a brief introduction to who I am and then what we do at IKP. I have been part of startups, running startups, been in the process area, mainly startups in the life science, biotech, and then medical diagnostic space. One of the startups that I was a part of, called Riametrics, was acquired by Beckman Coulter. And then I've been part of other startups before which, before I joined IKP, now it's more than a year. So I bring experiences of actually running startups, going through this whole process of scaling a startup up, all of those things, along with my colleagues here. My areas of interest, as I had mentioned, life science, medical devices, any new good technology that comes in, the thrill that we have in actually taking that from an idea into a full-fledged company. I think that's an area that IKP is very interested in helping people, and I'm glad to be part of this. I'm sure a few of you have heard about IKP. What I thought I would do was give you a very brief introduction to what we do in terms of Apurva, can I share the screen? Yes. If you can enable that.
Yes, enabled.
Thank you. So I would give you a little bit of an overview of IKP, and then we can take it from there. You guys can see the screen, I hope.
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. So IKP, interestingly, our journey began. We are one of the few private sector knowledge park, science park in the country. We've been around for about 23 years now, and we were started with ICICI Bank, with the quest of investing in life science infrastructure for the first time, looking at seeing whether we can bring innovation there. And we explored several areas, but we got a good traction with the government of Andhra Pradesh at that point of time. and where Genome Valley is today. In Hyderabad, we established ourselves as a science park. And as you can see on the right, there are several areas in which that we do today. Incubators, we look at various aspects of incubation, various technologies that we incubate. We're looking at tech transfer especially. And because we've been around for a period of time, we are not, while we started off at Hyderabad, and we also have a center that is, that's where I sit out of. It's called IKP Eden. This is in Bangalore. So in terms of geography, while again, we are located in two places, our reach has been throughout the country. And we travel to meet people, we travel to look at, discuss ideas. So wherever you are, we've still not heard that 100% yet, but that's not a problem at all, because we'd like to work with various places and across the country. So the impact, I'm not going to go line by line, but suffice it to say that IKP is around for 23 years, and the impact that we have created is immense. We have impacted about more than 1,000 companies at this point of time. Looking at our own journey with BIRAC, BIG is a part of that. We've been part of the BIG calls right from the first call. In fact, in one of the meetings that we conducted, it is called, and I'll talk about it, IKMC. Before this, the idea of how government can enable research, enable new products, and stay away from it came across 2 or 3 years of panel discussions. And before Dr. Ban actually took the inputs from there and applied several other wonderful ideas to start BIG per se. And so as you can see, over the years, we have been involved with BIRAC over several areas, including the creation of BioNest. We've been part of Grand Challenge explorations. We looked at Grand Challenge TB. Then we are doing something called IKP Prime, which is really for tech transfer. We are looking at Sparsh Fellows. And during COVID, IKP itself, and then along with BIRAC, started the ICO Fund. We have Agri Grand Challenges, then the Amrit Gen Care Challenge. All of those things is something that we've been doing, and it is a continuing journey with BIRAC as we go forward. Briefly, you can look at this later. These are the various incubators that we have, and across technologies. In fact, at IKP Eden, we look at clean energy. We are exploring smart proteins. We have agri-tech companies as part of our system, robotics, industrial robotics. You look at the type of diversity of companies that are part of our ecosystem, either physically or virtually. It's quite incredible as to what all we have there. In addition to that, we also have a satellite incubation system, which is something called the K-Tech Innovation Hub, that is again powered by IKP. These are all things that I talked about. So I think is a very important conference. If you can, do attend it. This is scheduled, IKMC is scheduled in 2023. This happens in 2023, October, last 2 days of October. I think it's 29th and 30th. This will be in Hyderabad. The reason I strongly suggest people consider being part of this conference is based on the feedback that we got. We had about 600 people only folk in this space. Of these 600 people, we have startups, we have external innovators coming in, joining us, funding agencies, government officials, and we have such wonderful interaction sessions, mentoring sessions that people found it phenomenally useful. That's really the unsolicited feedback that we got, which really told us the impact that we are having in this ecosystem. So if you are, please look out for the space. And we do offer grants for startups, selected startups. So please do talk to us and see how you can be a part of this. Don't miss it, is what I would tell you. And then there are various startups across. Some of these, Janitri, for example, came in Shark Tank recently, and they have benefited immensely from the exposure. They have been part of many of our own grant systems, etc. Likewise, you may have heard of Niramai. They've been part of our ecosystem, and then several other startups here that you would see. One of the only companies, the first medical device startup to go for Y Combinator is Inito, again part of our ecosystem as we work forward, right? And again, this is agri, industrial, bio, and our footprints. It's not only the hard space that we have. This is also about the virtual incubation that we provide. These are conversations. I can tell you over the last 1 year, thanks to Visu and Apurva, we've been exposed to many companies that have come to us, and we tell them honestly whether their idea, what is required for their idea to fly, right? I think you can expect honest feedback from us. And the idea is to help you, work on your idea and see how it can move forward, right? And we've been awarded across all these years with respect to being the best incubator. Our chairman and CEO has been awarded many times over also, which is not mentioned here, for the service that she has single-handedly brought to the incubator space. And this is a picture of our IKP facility in Bangalore. So this is called Eden. If you are in this part of the town or in Hyderabad, or intend to visit either Bangalore or Hyderabad, please call on us. We'll be happy to host you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. So everyone, and now that we have gathered to have an intro about BIG, I would like to go ahead giving you a brief about BIG. Any question you have regarding IKP Eden, facility incubation or funding, we can take, all can be taken after 3:30 or 3:40 when we will deal with question and answer session. So I would like to start about BIG by sharing my screen, and all the question we can ask at the end of this session. Just okay, 1 second. It's invisible.
You have to send your video and you have to share your screen.
Can you look at it?
Yes, full screen.
Yeah, everyone. So as we are kickstarting this series of investing in innovative ideas, what we thought is BIG is a really great option for academic innovators and startup to start with their entrepreneurial journey. Uh, Sridhar has already mentioned about IKP, so I would not go deep into this slide. But as you know, IKP had supported more than 1,500 startup across the nation. Through BIG, we have been able to support 176 startup with a grant and mentorship and handholding. Because IKP as a BIG partner would start with right from the writing of the application to their completion of BIG and beyond through different kind of funding scheme. As Sridhar also mentioned in the slide, IKP has various programs on funding and incubation more than other than BIG scheme. For a brief, BIG stands for Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is an idea to POC grant given for 18 months, and the quantum is up to 50 lakh rupees. The grant is given in areas like medical device, industrial biotechnology, waste management and clean energy, diagnostics, agriculture, drugs and related areas. And all the components, digital components associated with all these areas are also supported nowadays for BIG. For eligibility, any graduate in any field or any startup less than 5 years old can apply for the BIG grant. The selection process include a 4 months selection process starting with the application. Application call opens biannually in January and July and last up to 45 days. So currently it's open till 16th of August, 5 p.m. Then it goes for the online review and basic admin eligibility check, which involves the eligibility in terms of if PI is a shareholder or not, or the graduation certificate and other passport and basic eligibility criteria, which are mentioned in the BIREC guideline. Follows with which there comes the online review where it goes to 5 or more online review experts, after which there is face-to-face presentation where shortlisted candidates from the online scoring are called for the face-to-face presentation, for which IKP as its BAG partner actually mentors and handhold for the pitch deck preparation and the basic, qualification criteria to mentor you on those aspects for the overall pitch deck preparation. There comes the EAC where final cutoff score has been decided by the committee, and the grant is being given after the final cutoff score is being given by the committee from the TBT. The evaluation criteria for the BIG proposal includes the scoring on these particular aspects, which includes unmet need, value proposition, what you are providing to your customers, technical viability, whatever you are proposing, is it even technical feasible, and all the evidence and research should be concluding to the technical feasibility of the project. We should include the evidence also to ensure the committee that it is technical viable. Important aspect in the full proposal is team again, which include different domain experts from different area required for the project completion. The other aspect is, which is the most important aspect for BIG, which is a business perspective. The whole business plan to take your project or product into till the commercialization. Apart from this, IP, regulatory, and the whole roadmap has to be strategically charted out, and very clearly you should have a clear idea of what you need to do in 3 to 5 years plan after you register for the startup. So going forward, these are the few components you will see in the grant application. I will give brief detail about each component in my next slides. So if we talk about title, please don't give a 3 or 4 line sentences in the title. It should be very crisp and should give a clear idea of what you are trying to achieve in one line. Like for example, I have mentioned that if it is a wearable, do not mention the all all aspects or component in the title itself. Just keep it very crisp so as to give them brief idea what you're working upon. These are few examples I've just cited. Introduction, it's simply an introduction, but we should include 3 components in this introduction in 1 or 2 lines, telling about the problem statement, what you have chosen to work upon, what is your solution which will cater to that need, and the market, who will be the exact customer you will be selling the solution to. Value proposition, differentiation, and competitive landscape. These jargons you will hear in every other in your entrepreneurial journey on daily basis. These they look similar, but each has a different it has a different meaning to it. Value proposition would simply define a unique combination of benefits or value you are providing to your customer, and it plays a major role in defining your product. Second aspect is differentiation or novelty, which tells about the positioning of your product in the market. There might be several products related to your product available, solving the same kind of problem, but how yours is different than the others would be called as your differentiation, and it will provide the positioning of your product in the market. Competitive landscape, I have given a brief example how you can better show your competitive landscape, defining each parameters of your product and compare it with the available and conventional products in the market, and make sure to provide the competitive edge of, or say differentiator here, with respect to price, features, and performance of your product in a comparative table. And as I was mentioning, team is really important for any grant to give a committee or any investor to give a confidence that the team can pursue this idea very well and take up to the commercialization level. So we can always, so PI who is writing the proposal is the main person who will be the point of contact. Apart from that, the domain experience or the team member who are having a particular domain experience, you should mention it separately and have a, if you're working in, say, for example, gynecological problem or other area, the domain expert needs to be included in the proposal itself to understand the nitty-gritty and technical viability of the project. A business person and advisor is important to have. Do not make sure to have their online or mail through mail their consent to be part of your team. It is important to have a collaborator. If not, it's not mandatory, but if you have a collaborator for your further field or clinical trials, it's important to mention them right away to understand that you have a foolproof plan and a strategy to go forward. uh, Objective and milestone, this seems a simple task, but when a committee or judge the proposal, they always go for the numbers. So for example, you can simply write improving the sensitivity in 3 months, but if you write a number telling that 10 microgram per ml would be my sensitivity, I'm trying to achieve that in 3 months, that gives a real good impression to the committee that you are working on a very calculative goals here. So better to mention a detailed objective and indicator of progress very clearly. Do not forget to mention any technical details related to preliminary data available, background IP if you are using, or any publication related to your product is available. Please cite those publications and mention whatever is possible, and plus your background IP as well. It is important to highlight what you are working on and that you have worked upon the technical feasibility of the project. Budget allocation, again, it's up to 50 lakh rupees, but you can ask for whatever is uh, required for your project to be completed in 18 months. Better to mention, so for example, we have given a note here that what is required, how many number of units will be required, what will be the estimated cost, and what is the justification to buy or have those services in your proposal. Need to be very clearly articulated. These are major concerns which you should avoid during writing a proposal. First and foremost, please do not wait for 15th or 16th August to apply. Please apply beforehand, because in the last 2-3 days, the portal becomes really jammed and we cannot even help it. The date will not be extended. So why we do these webinars and all, to, if you need any help, you have any query, you want suggestion on proposal and on pitch deck, please share with us beforehand so that we can put comments and can help you better write the proposal, and do not wait till last time to upload the proposal. No, so these are, please avoid these silly mistakes for the proposal to go forward till TEP level at least. So technical details, as I mentioned, that provide all the details available, all the data you have collected, and all the scientific, publication related to it. Please do not forget to mention. Please give a realistic timeline. It is good to have a 3 to 5 year roadmap for your all products available in the startup or you're working on, but we have to focus on uh, 18 months project timeline, and why 50 lakh is required uh, to in achieving what kind of objective in those 18 months. That needs to be clearly articulated in your proposal. Again, feasibility, calculated risk, and solution you're working on has to be clearly highlighted in the proposal. Team background, it is also important to write about the team members and their domain expertise as well. So this slide we have made in little detail. The sole reason is, do not write an IP strategy not applicable or something. you could have say prospective IP or prospective claims to be put in, or background IP which you are using for for your new innovation. It could be disruptive, innovative, incremental, but we have to mention what you are thinking of having after 18 months in IP. So why I've given this example in detail here, we have our IKP Prime services available with IKP, who works with the innovators and academic innovators, and work with their prior art search and other aspects where they don't know that this could be patentable or any other IP. Other than the patent, there are many other IP forms which they do not know, but when they met with our IKP Prime team, they understood, and they work upon their the product, and our Prime team was able to make them understand that what are the areas they can identify their IP and make them registered through the patent office. This is one of the example of our BIG awardee. They were working on pheromones attracting male and female both fruit flies and reducing the crop loss. They are PG students, and now they have crossed. They have follow-on fundings and have deployed their solution in Brazil and having collaboration all over India. But the rawness of data will suggest that how they started and they worked on their strategy. These are some of the startups we have. Dozy, which are they started with a sleep monitoring device and now deployed as a monitoring device with several other parameters like SpO2, heart rate, and were able to uh, help some COVID patient during the COVID timing. They had more than 139 crore rupees follow-on funding and have got FDA 510 clearance uh, this year. Next is Translate. They work on mechanical solution, a chair which provides, which can guess actually intent of getting up for the elderly citizens to put lesser pressure on the knees and thighs, and it's totally mechanical. There is no electricity and other battery involved here, and they are team of from IIC, and now they have got more than 2 crores for loan funding and got already order for manufacturing for more than 100 chairs. Uh, and next is Rentube. They are one of the big awardees for in our sustainable solution segment. They work on the light harvesting solar panels, which based on motion-free optical tracking solution, and which increases the solar energy yield by 20%. And as it is transparent, they allow the crops also to be grown underneath and in the less space constraint area. They also reduce the water consumption as well. They have also received more than 2.4 crores follow-on funding, and they are already working in pilots with governments of different states. These are some of the examples I just put together to know that these are working on innovative solutions. Yes, to us at teambig@ikpknowledgepark.com, and there is a link I can paste in the chat box which provides all the guideline. Somebody asked about TRL levels. It also includes that folder, and the presentation preparation, everything is included in this folder. You can visit to this and share your feedback with us. Thank you. Yes, I can. So that's about BIG. I hope you understood the gist of the same. Now I would request Akib to please take through the Eden and our startups journey.
Hi everyone, this is Akib. I've been working with IKP on and off. I started in IKP in the year 2015 as a program associate, and then moved on to start my own startup in agri-tech. I was working in something in post-harvest technologies. Uh, Back then we had applied for BIG and didn't get selected. That's one thing. But we have got other grants in the past, so I can give you some input from that as well. Apart from that, right now I joined IKP back again in 2021. Currently, I take care of a couple of programs as well as investments for IKP. I sit out of the Bangalore office. That's the Eden office. We are hardware incubator / biotech incubator as well. I'll quickly share. So I see that there's a constraint of time because I was allotted 325 to 335. I think I should not take much more time because we can open this up for questioning and question answers, right? I'll just quickly share a brief about what IKP is. Give me 1 second. Just let me know when you see a screen.
Yes, Akib.
Okay, so this is something which Sridhar already spoke about, the startups we have worked with in the past and how many startups we have helped and stuff. One quick thing which I wanted to tell was we also invest in startups for equity and other format. We invest in 30 lakhs to 1 crore, and I was just checking how many of them were earlier a BIG winner. About 50%. That's exactly, we have made 24 investments in last 4 or 5 years, and out of that 12 were BIG winners. And then and have gone on to raise a lot of money. Dozy, Inito, I think are one of the few bigger players there, right? We work at IKP Eden. We work very closely with medical device companies because we have a lab and the manufacturing and mechanical setup so that you can explore a lot of things with us. We also work with robotics mobility companies. We also work with clean tech. Green hydrogen companies as well. We also have Vuravu Labs who are into renewable water. Right? We also have worked very closely with aero and space tech companies as well. We also work with biotech because we have a biolab, a smaller biolab in Bangalore. So anyone sitting out of Bangalore, our biolab is very good. We are also expanding. We soon will have a smart protein lab, and also we'll upgrade our labs as well as we move forward. Couple of earlier winners of the BIG and were a part of Eden. Nirvesh Enterprises, they were building a neuro product in the past. Prayasta was a BIG winner, right, Apurva? Just because they were from part of Eden. They're not? Okay. They are, according to me, they are. I don't know if it's IKP. Then a couple of them, Sensio, Biodesign. These are all doing quite well. I think a point is that BIG is a very good grant, and with the help of IKP, what you guys can really do is you can use this. So with IKP, you have an opportunity of getting more funds from us after BIG is complete. So that opens up a lot of doors. We also have a lot of regulatory forum. We have infrastructure, lab infrastructure, and also most importantly, we have subject matter experts who can really who understand what you guys are trying to achieve, and that really catalyzes the whole process of your success. We at Eden also are a BIG associate partners, so we help you with your proposals as well. So in the interest of time, I think I'll not go ahead of this till I'll cut my thing short. We can have a discussion. I think that would be much more useful. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Akib. Thank you, Sridhar and Akib, for giving us a brief about Eden and our funding and about our startups. I would request now Dr. Vishu to please introduce and have started with the question and answer session. And all the participants, please do ask your questions.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Very quickly to introduce about myself, I'm a scientist by training. I did my PhD at University of Science, and then many of you are saying that we have applied earlier, we were not successful. So that's the main reason actually I came to IKP, how IKP helps the scientists. And in the BIG, to be precise, we have 184 BSc awardees from various institutes, engineers, doctors, researchers as the BSc awardees. And you have to understand that it became very competitive. So 3 years before, the applications for each call maybe around 350 to 450. Nowadays it is anywhere from 900 plus. So you have to present, and as Apurva rightly mentioned, they look for the value proposition in terms of the product, differentiator as a team, as a company, how that will be helpful, and most importantly the IP component. When we are academic people, we think that this is helpful and we are doing a good thing. We need to present even more than that. So our team will be very happy to help, and thanks to Sridhar, Ranajit, Bindu, Sangeeta, entire IKP team and IKP Prime team who actually works with innovators. And I don't know if I can say or not, but some people who didn't get even the BIG, the projects have improved so much, and they continue to be with IKP using the facilities and other support systems. So you must get BAZ and you should get BAZ. I'll be very happy, but just don't focus, because BAZ is an early stage grant, and sometimes if the product is matured, like let's say, I know many teams who came early and they were not successful in the beginning, and they have developed things, and they crossed the BAZ level, the TRL 1 to 4 kind of thing. As per the portal, it is TRL 1 to 3. And Apurva has posted in the chat box, IKP BAZ partner support drive. So you can just go there and see what is the TRL level. And many a times people say that I have the product, which is not true. You might be thinking you made a prototype, semi-functional, validating. So it is better that you get those nomenclature right, and you position your project or technology in a part. If you are not successful, if you have received a comment, sometimes you may not agree, and the reviewers or the experts may not be able to understand like how you wanted them to. So it is our job, I mean your job, to present in a way that they understand. We'll be very happy, and with this it's open to Q&A. You can just unmute yourself and ask. Sridhar, Akib, myself, Apurva, one of us will spontaneously unmute and answer.
Sir, this is Dr. Reena Das here again. So as I told you already, we have applied for this almost same concept in PACE. So in PACE scheme, my more inclination was towards societal benefit. Now when I'm writing for BIG, what should be my, what other factors I should be considering more than the societal benefit of my agri-tech startup based product?
Akib, I will answer this one. Great. So thank you. So when you are applying for any government projects, not only government projects, any projects, the funding part, they will look where the money will be utilized. So when you apply for PACE, and let's say you're asking 80 lakh rupees to do, let's say, you are developing, since you mentioned as a agri-biotech, I will take an example that you are developing a biofertilizer and are a biopesticides. If you are coming to the BIZ and applying for the same projects, most of the time it will not be funded for two reasons. One is the money you have already asked using a specific budget that you will do those things, and you will need to submit utilization certificate whenever you are taking money from the government. So this will become a double billing, in the sense that for the same work and the same salary, you are taking from two different sources or from the same source. So I would suggest to differentiate between the PACE project and the BIG project. And maybe what I would do is I will request Fatima to share an email with Apurva and arrange a one-on-one discussion where we can look into the specifics and suggest what is best.
Yeah, that would be good, because as a researcher, I will be biased towards my objectives. I will not be able to frame up proper objectives as to what is more considered towards space or towards BIG. So having a one-on-one discussion will definitely help me as to how to frame that. Apart from that, I have one more question, sir. collaborator can be private or it has to be a government NGO?
So collaborator can be anyone. So there is a limited 15 lakhs. If you are applying for a 50 lakh project, 15 lakhs can be an outsourcing budget where your collaborator or partner can do. So there is a provision. So that can be anybody.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
In fact, having an industry partner who has the expertise and the skill set and even the equipment helps a lot.
So I can have multiple collaborators, an industry partner which can help me with technology development, and a collaborator wherein I can apply my technology to. Can I have?
Yes, but what you exactly said now sounds like a academic research project. So please try to avoid that and see how they can add value.
Okay, so what is recommended, sir, for BIG? Which type of collaborator is recommended?
So in BIG project, at least from I have been attending for last 10 calls. It's always good to have team to have the core technology and any additional technology or a very specific thing going to a collaborator and industry partner or even a research institute helps a lot.
Okay.
So positioning is very important.
Okay, sir, understood. Yeah, thanks.
So this is Dr. Subbalakshmi Ghosh from the Alona. We are actually incubating under the Kolkata Biotech Park and as well as from the RISE IZAR Kolkata. So
hello, ma'am.
Right, sir. So last time we have applied in the BIRAC project, and there are certain, the reviewers' points for we can understand that it has not been awarded. What we are thinking right now that we will propose some other project in the BIT. And what I have asked you as well, that it is in the ideation stage, maybe we will apply, and that we will decide when we have a mutual discussion with us that how to propose and everything. So in the ideation stage, do you think that, because Apurva just showed that there should be some part where we need to have a patent and the publication support of our product or the prototype, but when it is at the ideation stage, is it necessary, or how we can cater this part?
Okay, I will answer in separate parts. So it is not necessary to have a patent. Some people may be just thinking about patenting. Some people might have just applied for a provisional. So what is need to be clear is what will be your future claims. There is a specific slide actually which you need to upload a presentation. In that a specific column which asks what will be your IP strategy, in the sense what will be your claims, what kind of things you will be developing, whether it will be an industrial design, whether it will be a formulation patent. So all these things will be asked there. So it is better to answer those things and clearly mentioned, Apurva, that it's not applicable. You should not write whatever you think can be generated. So they're asking a forward-looking statement. If you're going to establish an enterprise, they would like to see what is your vision. So it's not just about an IP, but how serious you are as a. Many a times scientists like to develop, which is fine, but they also want to see future CEO, how they want to position their company and IP strategy. So in short, good to have patent, but a provisional are thinking about it and listing, this is what we are going to generate without going into specifics. Sometimes it may not be possible to divulge too much information at this early stage. So you have to disclose enough information for them to get convinced.
Exactly. So what I am planning, that I will copy your email ID. So I will send you a pitch deck which we have developed. Actually, in the RISE Idea Pool competition, we have participated, and thank God we secured the first position. So what we are planning, that on that idea, we will actually send the BIG project. And it will be very helpful if you have a look on this pitch deck, and so that we can have the guidance from you to how to write down the project and how to go in a proper way.
Sure, ma'am. And we have actually a few doctors from Calcutta who received BAZ. We have actually already invited them that they should be coming to Calcutta Biotech Park. And as you might know that IKP will be having an office in Calcutta Biotech Park. So yes, we will be looking forward to working.
Harshata was a very good friend of mine, and she was actually one of the judge in the RISE IZAR idea pool, and she was very happy, got the idea, and in the bio is a.
If Harshada is your friend and judge, it is a conflict of interest here.
Yes. Anyway, it will be wonderful to
we'll get connected to you.
Absolutely.
Hi, Shravan.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Great.
I have a couple of questions here. So first part is about the budget. So do we need to budget the entire project's budget till 18 months, or is the utilization of 50 lakhs, how we will be spending that 50 lakhs on the project?
So it's only the 50 lakh rupees, how you will be spending in, some people ask only 12 to 14 months. We have some of the very successful projects in 12 to 14 months. So 18 months is the maximum time.
Okay.
And regarding budget, I will tell one example. I will not take the name of that company. They have made it so much detailed, including all the parts, subparts, validation, where they will do, which lab they will do, what kind of tests they will do to confirm. And in the final presentation, they weren't able to answer one or two queries regarding, follow-on questions about other competitors' technology. And the judges actually asked, after they left, bring their budget slide details, and they have worked in so much detail, and they must be supported, because they have done in thorough due diligence of all the existing products, and how they will be starting their first prototype, version 1, version 2. It's literally nuts and bolts details, and they had given. So it is good to give complete details about the budget, and 50 lakhs only. So you can mention very broadly what is the vision for the company and follow on project, but first 50 lakhs is where they need the details.
So it should be from where to TRL levels, from what TRL to what TRL we can take. That's it, right? So it's not about taking the product to the market. So
No.
50 lakhs
So it's understandable that in 50 lakhs, not many things can be taken to the market, and the time is also not sufficient. Very few people were able to take things to the market in the 18 months with 50 lakh rupees, but that is not expected. So TRL 1 to 3, I would say that TRL 4 to 5 is a great progress, in the sense you validate and do paid pilots. That's an excellent way forward in the BAC. Just for everyone else, what Shravan is asking, in the 18 months with 50 lakh rupees, is it expected that your project will make a product that will go into the market? No, but they want to know the path, how it is going, and how you will be taking forward.
Okay, regarding collaborators, sir. So basically, if any startup, they won't have proper mentors or anything. That's why they come to the incubation. So it is mentioned in the slides that to mention the advisories, or what if there is no advisories? Can we add, any of the incubation partners' names in that?
Okay, so here I will take few examples and tell Shravan. Maybe I will take little long to answer. First thing, whenever anybody keeping an advisor, it's always good to take the written approval. It happened actually several times, the advisors on the interview panel, and they were not even contacted. So first, please write to your advisors and share the PPT even before submitting with them, and take their feedback. And coming back to the Shravan's next question, if there are no advisors, what I should do? It's always good to have a seniors or a faculty or an industry partner, depending on the project and at the stage where you are. Sometimes if it is a deep tech project where you need a scientific expertise, you can go to an academic institutes, there is no problem. But you have worked on the technology part, but you are looking into the market, it's always good to go for an industrial partner or a business mentor. So it's not an absolute requirement, but it helps. So most of the successful projects, they do have a mentor or a scientific advisor.
Okay, so thank you.
And I also missed, when I think either Dr. Sublakshmi or Dr. Reena Das were asking about having the data. It's always good to have data, but there are specific marks for the technical feasibility of the project. So there, either you can support from your own data, be it an MSc project, like Apurva mentioned the example of Natura Craft Core, where they have done with a very crude way actually. So they have just extracted from the cucumber juice, and one fraction is attracting the insects. So in the glass juice with an insect photo was their starting raw data, and they poured it on a filter paper and hanged in the field, and with the insect photos was the raw data. So when they are saying raw data, it's not that it's like a laboratory experiment which typical engineers and scientists will do, but any kind of data that validates and shows the feasibility of your project is welcome. If it is not there, I would suggest please look into the literature and present how it will be possible to do the project. Just in short, you have to score the feasibility marks.
Sir, by raw data, do you mean a POC or any laboratory experiment?
Any experiments. So in their case, they have done it in the field actually. So Natura Crab Care, they have a pheromone which is much more potent than a pheromone, because it attracts the both sexes of insects and equally effective. So what they have done, very crude, like they took the extract, the fraction which has the pheromones, poured on the filter paper and put it in the field, and showed that very specific insects that attach the crop are being attracted there. So from a scientific point of view, it is not so much detailed, but the committee has asked, can you show that it is not attracting the honeybees and useful insects? There will be follow-on questions your team and advisor should ask you, or IKP team will certainly ask. So that is what I mean, like you need to have a second and third level of Q&A, and you get these answers right, so that there you will have more things to answer.
Okay.
And our Sridhar has the expertise of the industry, so when you present on a one-on-one, and we'll be able to actually tell you what all you need to think more than the project. So many a times, being scientist, I also come under that category. We don't look at about later part of execution and taking it to the markets, what will be there. So our team, Ranjit sir and Sridhar will be looking into these things, and they will help you. They will help you with the questions. You have to find the answers.
So my name is Nidhi. I'm from Atma Leather. One of our main questions was we are making plant-based leather from banana crop waste. And our main question was, are we a sector match for the kind of startups that this call is looking for? Because it said it's a biotech startup. We wanted to know if we were a sector match in any way and if we should apply for this round.
So BAZ name is Biotechnology Ignition Grant, but they do have agriculture and allied fields, clean energy, clean tech, waste management. So agriculture actually has a large weightage.
Okay. Yes, that sounds good. So then we can work on an
You can
application.
share actually 1 or 2 lines about your project separately. I would suggest, please don't share anything about your project on the chat box. There is a WhatsApp group link is actually pasted there. If you see in the chat box, you can join that WhatsApp group, and very general things you can ask in the WhatsApp, and there is an email ID where you can send the specifics, and we'll be happy to revert and arrange a one-on-one meeting.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Can we apply on the same idea again when it is rejected once?
Yes, actually, last call, mostly there will be 8 people or so who are getting the BAG. Most of them actually are applying second and third time.
Okay.
So there is no problem about applying, but you need to find the answers what they have asked, and use the PPT to answer those things and explain this is what is asked and this is what we have.
Okay.
So just to add to what Visu was saying, I think when you apply again, I'm sure you have progressed on the idea as well, even if not through experiments, at least in thought and maturity. Please ensure that it can go, when you come back, it is at a different level of maturity, because there may be new people reviewing it, but they all think very similarly. These are the basic questions. Can this be a good product? Can this make a difference, right? So I would say make sure you review those questions that were asked or given the feedback and say what can be done that these kind of questions will not come. I mean, maybe new questions can come. We've had companies that have worked with us, I think 3 or 4 times, right, Visu? One of those companies that, that we have even invested now, they are 3 or 4 times they've gone through BIG, they were frustrated, but they came back every time, improved it, and they finally got it.
Yes, Sridhar. Actually, I would say 30 to 40% of the teams that are getting the BAG are applying second and third time because maybe they were not able to convince. They have because in the presentation there is only 7 minutes and you can only present as many slides. That's why I will actually share translate presentation where there is a 3-minute video. Being scientists, we stress so much about the problem and the data, but the team also would like to see about technical feasibility, how this will be carried out, what is the team, what is the value proposition, and all the other points they would be looking. And if you miss those things, you may have all those things, but inability to convey those things during the interview is what causes the second and third time. And also the competition, sometimes it's just the way it is.
But do you want us to, answer the review comments on the second consecutive applications? So if first application got rejected.
Yes, you have to add those comments and also add the improvements done after that.
In the presentation slides.
In the presentation, follow in the last slides actually.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Dr. Abhilash from 2108x1120 Solutions. I have a question here that what if a startup raises funds or other grants, so what would be the impact on the big application in process?
So as I was mentioning to Dr. Reena Das, if the funds are for particular thing and either grant or any fund, if money is already available and everything is in place, you will not be getting. But if you are developing something over and beyond, let's say you have a diagnostic kit in particular format and you received funding for that, but you want to improve it. Let's say you want to miniaturize and add some additional features. Yes. So you have to specify those things, what additional things you will be doing in the 18 months with the 50 lakh rupees.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have to disclose all the funding that we've previously received?
Yes, there is a column which asks any other funding received, and there is also a shareholding certificate that need to be disclosed.
Even if that is in grants, it has to be disclosed.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, more importantly, more than the funds, they want to know the objectives that are funded.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
As I mentioned, if you have received a funding, that is absolutely no problem. They will be very happy, and it shows that you are able to convince a certain agency or an organization or an objective or a cause, but they would like to see what you will be doing over and above that with the additional 50 lakhs.
Suppose if we've received like a significant funding in the past, does it benefit the application or does it kind of demote it, saying that, okay, the
if you have received a 50
funds.
crore funding, they might say that you have 50 crores, you might be able to do with this, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But I had never seen actually that receiving funding as a negative thing.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, if you are receiving very huge sum, like a huge amount of money for a small work, then they would say that you have sufficient funds. It is better you do or show something. And if you can show that the specific thing I want to do, and they will be happy to fund. I know cases where the teams have received funding and they received the BAG as well.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. How about soft commitments? If there is some soft commitments from investors and we have just...
If you have not signed an agreement, please don't mention that you have received the money because you have not received it. And money, unless not in your account or agreement signed, I would see it as a...
Only thing is big takes 5 months of time. So meanwhile, we can have that funds in the bank.
So that you are optimistic that whoever said they will give. So it's always better to just mention that we are in talks with so and so, but in 5 months they would like to see the progress or what happened. If it is not signed and if it is not in your account, I would say better not mention, right? Why create additional confusion? And if you have received money, you can always say that I have, when you are coming for the interview, you can mention that we have received the money and this is the objective which is already funded. We will do these things.
Okay.
Dr. Danishri, you were saying something and I interrupted.
Sir, my question is along with the similar lines. Actually, I applied for Nidhi Praya scheme for developing prototype for the same idea which I'm going to propose for DIG. So the application timeline is almost matching. So I don't know whether I can pitch for the same idea with a different plans. That is from DSP and this is from DBT Bhaira.
So as I mentioned, for the same objectives, you cannot get the fund from two different sources. If you have not received, you can just mention that it is applied. I would always say that, if your application is very strong and there is a high possibility that you will get the Nidhi Prayas, you add the objectives, over and beyond the 10 lakh rupees, what you will be doing. So these 5 objectives, let's say you have mentioned, and if you get Nidhi Prayas, by the time you are coming for the BAS interview, you can mention that you have received for objective 1 and you will be doing with that for 10 lakh rupees. And this is what I will do additionally.
Okay, so that is only for prototype development and it's not for the refinement of the end product.
Exactly. So when you are coming to the BAG, you please include validation, refinement, additional versions.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So some of you have asked for one-on-one sessions. So please send an email to the email that was given in the chat box. Please share a draft presentation or at least a one-pager. If not, if you don't have a presentation, it is good to have a presentation. If not, at least a one-page summary of your project, and then we will sit and talk with you to refine. And the WhatsApp group is for any informal questions you want to just quickly ask, something you are stuck. So usually many a times the other team members are the ones who help.
Sir, for LOI, we have to contact IKP or the associated partner. Actually, I'm applying from Chennai, so I would prefer to incubate it in IIT Madras, and they are your associated partner.
Yes, HTIC is IKP's means we have actually 4 teams from IIT Madras have joined today. So you can ask them for the letter of intent. You can be incubated there.
Okay.
As I mentioned that the 176 plus 8, 184 BIG awardees of IKP are incubated across India. And some teams actually, when they want additional help, for example, Translead from IISc came to IKP Eden for the engineering facilities. Anything you want to use from our facilities, you don't have to be incubated. You just have to ask and we'll be happy to help. So you are free to take your call where you want to be incubated, what you want to do. There is no problem. Wherever you want help, you have to ask us and we'll be happy to.
That's wonderful, sir. But the letter we have to get through the associated partner.
Many a times, people ask on August 14th evening, so we give them. But if you can take it before, you please take. I would suggest where you are planning to incubate, you take from there. But IKP Eden and IKP Knowledge Park will be happy to issue if you need it.
Thank you, sir.
So what is the incubation charges if you are not part of the grants or any other program with you?
So it depends on what you want to use. There are per seat basis, per room basis, team size, what all equipment you want to use. So you can just drop an email at the same team BAS at IKP Knowledge Park and we'll be happy to connect. Where are you located, Shravan?
We are based out in Hyderabad, Madhapur, sir.
Okay.
We just graduated from an incubation program with IIT Hyderabad. So we wanted another facility. We'll continue with
Sure, Shravan. We'll be happy to talk.
Yeah, sure.
Over to Apurva.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwa. So, thank you everyone for participation and question and answer you had. As we mentioned, there is a link for WhatsApp group, a link for email ID where you can post your questions, and a link for our folder where we provide all the information related to the presentation format, TRLs, and other BIG related guidelines. Other than that, people have asked for one-on-one. If you want to stay here and get your pitch deck here by our team, you can stay. Others may I request you to leave this session. Thank you so much for joining.
Apurva,
And
just
please keep in touch for
Apurva, just one
any
thought.
query you have.
Apurva, just one thought before everybody leaves. I just thought, since you're all beginning the journey on entrepreneurship, feel free to do that. And no idea is a bad idea. And it's only when you refine it will you be able to go and achieve what you want to do. So I'm really glad that you guys have taken the first step to be part of this discussion. Feel free to explore it. We are here to help you. So thank you.
Gautam, you have raised your hand.
Hi, sir. Thank you. I hope you remember me from the previous meeting.
Yes.
Okay. So can we talk about what I need to change before I start filling out the application for the BIG grant?
So did you receive the comments? Not yet, right?
Yeah, I received the comments. So you want me to read it out, what they said?
No, I think better not to read out now.
Okay, just short things, that's it.
Your original presentation was not attached in the format last time, agro native.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe Gautam, you and me, we can just go to a separate room and talk in this chart itself and close.
Okay.
And during that time, maybe if somebody has, Sridhar and Akib and you can take more questions. And very quickly, so Dr. Reena Das and Fatima, so we will be meeting you, and you have to share a draft and about PACE versus BIG, what needs to be done and those things. So we will wait for your email and then schedule a session separately.
Okay, sir.
Or if you want, if you can wait for 20 minutes, you can wait.
Yes,
and
yes.
Then maybe I will
Yes.
talk.
Yes, we can do that, sir. After the session gets over, we can have the one-on-one session.
Okay, then you can wait, and I will go to breakout room, and then you can take one more.
Sure, sir.
And
Please.
Danvi, if she want to speak, you can ask Sridhar to.
Sir, can I connect with you later?
Yes, yes. So
for one.
Our entire team, when you send, we will be looking and following up.
Okay.
Yes, 1 minute. Gautam, right? Yeah. So I just join. Thank you, Apurva.
So everyone, if Sridhar, would you like to take? Okay, I think Miss Dhanvi also has left. Okay, if she connects back, I would request Sridhar to please take one-on-one with her.
Sure.
Probably, she left. Okay. Anyone have any question? Then we can take right now. Otherwise, you can request a team BIG for one-on-one. We'll arrange a call with you.
But if you do not have any questions, thank you for your time. We can, again, just feel free to reach out to us should you need anything. Yeah. Thank you.
Sridhar, can I put you in separate room for now, please? We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one candidate who wants one-on-one.
Sure.
Sorry, my speaker was not on. Were you saying something, Sridhar?
No, I said sure.
Yeah, okay. For rest of the team, I would request you to kindly leave the meeting if you don't have any question. Dr. Reena, may I recall what you have been told by Dr. Vishu?
He said to wait.
Okay, so fine. So we'll wait for Dr. Reena in the main hall, and I'll put you, Akib, and
Yeah, Apurva, can you hear me?
yes, yes. So Dr. Reena, you can wait with me in the hall. Let them come back with that one-on-one. We'll put your session with them.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just arrange one more one-on-one session with our other team members.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure. Should I wait in this call itself,
Yes,
Apurva?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
Mr. Santosh, you have shared a presentation and for one-on-one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'll put you with Dr. Sridhar and Akib in separate room. You may please share the screen and present your idea for 6 to 7 minutes. Then go ahead with discussion, please.
So, madam.
Just give me a second to put up in a separate room.
Okay.
No. We'll have a discussion with them.
Purva, where are you sending me, Purva?
I am really sorry, Sridhar. I think there is only room 1 I could create, and there is something with the room 2. So I my apologies for that.
No problem.
Just give me 5 more minutes to figure out where to create the room 2. Rest of the team, would you take a leave, or do you have something to ask with us from us? Ms. Ulfat, Professor Tinku Basu, Vijay Chaudhary, are you in the from same team?
Yes,
Abhilash?
ma'am. I'm with Reena Das, ma'am. So I'm the
Achha,
project lead, actually.
okay. Fine. I just wanted to check that.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.